Hey everybody, how's it going? You got Spencer here with my good friend Pete Ciccone talking to you about the basics of muscle building. Now if you didn't know Pete, he is a registered strength and conditioning coach with the NSCA. He's also a registered nurse and the owner of 619 Muscle. Pete, thank you so much for joining us, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome, Spencer. Thanks everybody for joining us. Spencer's brought me to talk to you guys about muscle building. I'm a bodybuilder. I'm a competitive national level bodybuilder with the NPC and hopefully soon to be the IFBB. I'm here to talk about how to transform your body. All of us are going through some journey of transformation, building muscle, losing fat, changing the shape and the look of our body. Now, when you talk to bodybuilders, you're asking the experts when it comes to building lean mass, stripping away body fat, revealing the lean tissue beneath. You wouldn't necessarily ask a bodybuilder to change the oil in your Porsche. You'd probably bring that to the expert, to the Porsche dealer. But when it comes to getting leaner, building muscle, changing the look of your body, who else would you go to but the bodybuilders? That's the whole nature of our business.
Perfect. So what would you say is probably your client's biggest problem when it comes to putting on mass?
I think that the biggest obstacle to overcome when it comes to putting on muscle mass is consistency. Consistency and compliance, but primarily consistency. The body adapts, and it's an amazing machine because it changes in response to external stimulus. So when we put resistance training on the body, when we put weight resistance, progressive overload on the muscles of the body, the skeletal muscles will respond by growing. That's through a process called protein synthesis. You stimulate protein synthesis by lifting heavy things. You lift heavy things over and over and over, and then you want to have the brick and mortar to build the body, to build the muscle. You have to provide the body with the nutrients to do that. So when you talk about the biggest obstacle to overcome, you want to make sure feeding the body on a consistent basis, which means increasing the protein, increasing the amino acids that you've supplied the body. The amino acids are the building blocks of the lean tissue, of the protein. Muscles are protein, and if you don't have the building blocks of the protein, the aminos, there's no way that you can build additional muscle mass. So I would have to say, nutritionally, that's where most people fall short. They don't eat enough protein. And then I would also have to say that from an activity standpoint, people do not challenge their body, they do not stimulate muscle growth by lifting heavy things. You don't have to lift exorbitantly heavy amounts of weight, but you have to do it, and research has shown somewhere between 8 to 15 repetitions on an ongoing basis, repetitively, to the point of momentary muscular failure. That stimulates the most amount of hypertrophy of muscle building. So the goal is train the body on a regular, consistent basis. That stimulates adaptation, and then provide the body with the nutrients to grow. That's protein. How much protein? You'd have to say then more protein than you're eating now, because whatever you're eating now results in what you have now.
Right.
So when it comes to increasing the amount of muscle mass you have, quite simply, increase by half a serving or a serving on a daily basis, on a regular, consistent basis, to help feed the adaptation to the resistance training that you're doing on a regular basis.
Okay, perfect. And just to give the viewers an idea of what kind of protein you're intaking, when you're in what you would call muscle building mode,
Yes.
how much protein are you taking in on a typical day?
Well, for me specifically, because I have a good amount of muscle mass already built up, I have to take in over and above the amount I need to maintain. And that's really the basic rule of thumb with everybody. Think about it this way. Whatever you're eating now results in how you look now. So in order to change that, you stimulate growth, you stimulate protein synthesis, which is the process of building muscle by lifting heavy things like we talked about earlier. And then you provide the body with more protein than you're eating now. For me, as an example, a rule of thumb is 1.8 to 2 grams per pound of body mass. And some people would argue that, but it really depends on the amount of activity you're doing and how much your body is, how much you're consuming now to maintain your body.
So a lot of our viewers have questions about supplements. It's such a misrepresented market. It's such an untapped kind of wide array of information out there. So if you had to recommend just one or two supplements that you think are really integral in playing a role in muscle gain, what would you suggest?
In terms of what would be the simplest, most productive supplements to choose from for bodybuilders or people that want to increase their muscle mass, would be protein powder specifically, more specifically, whey protein isolate. People may argue back and forth, but Whey protein isolate is one of the highest quality, highest filtered, most complete proteins with an ingredient called leucine. Leucine is the anabolic trigger, which specifically is a component of protein that's found most abundantly in whey protein isolate. The whey protein isolate also has the lowest amount of carbohydrates, the lowest amount of sugars, and the lowest amount of fats. Those are the things, in order to increase your protein intake for the day without increasing extra calories, it would be most effective to use a whey protein isolate as the supplement of choice. If I had to choose only one supplement, that's probably what I would recommend. Okay. And leucine being what they call the anabolic trigger or the anabolic catalyst. From the research standpoint, leucine is the branch chain amino acid that stimulates protein synthesis from a chemical standpoint. So if you're able to stimulate the body with your resistance training program, supplement the body with a protein source like whey protein isolate, highest in leucine, you're going to get a chemical stimulus for muscle building. At the same time, that's going to augment the mechanical stimulus that you will get when you're training. And those two things together will maximize your body's productivity for muscle building.
Okay, perfect. So we've gone over, a little bit about supplements, a little bit about, in general, what you want to do to put on muscle. Let's get a little more specific with the type of workout you would suggest to someone whose main goal is to put on mass.
Great. One of the things you want to consider is you want to consider recovery. You want to consider not overtraining. So research has shown stimulating the body and then giving it 24 to 48 hours in between to rest, that's going to be the most productive for training. So if you can stimulate the body with resistance training, 1 or 2 body parts per workout, 2 to 3 times a week, then let the body rest and recover from those body parts. You can train another piece of the body, another component of the body the next day. Then you take a day of total rest. Let the body recover. You do the same basic split again, either on A workout, B workout, rest, and then repeat, or A workout, B workout, C workout, rest and repeat. The more you divide your body into pieces, the greater amount of attention you can give to each single piece, if that makes sense. But that's as you become advanced and you start going through the program where you need more stimulation. Initially, if you divide the body, something as simple as push-pull, something as simple as upper body, lower body, A, B, rest, you've got a pretty basic component for a productive muscle building.
Okay, perfect. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience with bodybuilding, both, chronologically, where you started, where you are now, and also kind of what it's meant to you.
This is a really personal question, and thank you for asking. Bodybuilding to me has been something that's been life-changing, life-saving, and really an ongoing calling or passion for me. I started bodybuilding when I was 13. I was a small Italian kid, a little chubby, round in the middle, short, not big. You think a chubby kid who's big can be a bully or can be a football player, but a chubby kid who's tiny and little and short, I think in high school as a senior I weighed 130 pounds and I was blubbery. So I really started my journey to transform my body. I worked very hard. I ate very strict. I read all the bodybuilding magazines because when I saw them on the cover, the bodybuilders, I said, boy, I'd love to look like this guy or that guy, these childhood heroes of mine who are extreme examples of muscularity, muscle tone, and leanness. As I studied their lifestyles through the magazines, realizing as I've gone through time that a lot of that is hype and a lot of that is exaggeration or a lot of that is extreme levels of activity, I also was able to filter through that stuff that was applicable to me as a younger adolescent and then on into my early 20s. But I started resistance training, following a lot of the programs of the elite level bodybuilders at first and learning the nutritional plans and practicing them, screwing up every way to Sunday when I first started doing bodybuilding, really. And then from there, I learned my mistakes and I went back and I re-examined. I think bodybuilding for me over the course of the past now almost 30 years has really become a labor of love and something that's become a science for me and an art. It's something that changing the body is not something that's magical or mysterious. There's a few very specific rules: eat more protein, do some resistance training, but within those general rules, the parameters vary slightly individual to individual, but for the most part, it's about fine-tuning and really consistency over time. And I've competed at the regional level, the national level. I've competed as high now as the national level at the USA's over the past 5 years. I've placed in the top 5 several times. And this year I'm going on to Masters Nationals and hope to graduate from the amateur level into the professional level. And that's at the NPC, National Physique Committee, Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh, and that'll be next week.
So I think a big misconception people have out there is that when they look to transform their body, they think it's kind of a one and done process. They transform it and that's it. They just maintain that for the rest of their lives. But it's definitely not like that. It seems like you're always transforming, you're always evolving almost.
Absolutely, and I think that's the beauty of it. You know, whether you're learning how to read a book or how to write poetry or how to golf or how to play chess better or how to be a better painter or how to save money and be a better businessman, or be a better husband or a father. It's all about, you're always constantly evolving. It's a work in progress, and changing the look of your body is no different. If you're passionate about it and you put your energy into it, you can do some amazing things. It takes time. You learn what works for you based on your lifestyle and the other components of your life, because bodybuilding can become pretty consuming. In order to have a degree of success, it has to be somewhat consuming. Mm-hmm. But you figure if you're gonna exercise anyway, and you gotta eat anyway, you may as well do the right things to change the look of your body. Why wouldn't you? And I think that's where, if you pay attention and you put energy into the plan and you stay consistent, it's a magical life. And you know, for me, it's really transformed my whole life. I'm blessed to be able to do what I do and to help others along that same path. And you know, we can help you too. So you know, continue to tune in and see what more information we have for you.
That's amazing, man. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
My
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for letting me talk to your guys.
So if you guys felt like you learned something, give this video a big old thumbs up. Also subscribe to our channel. For more videos like this, we'll be having Pete on a lot more often. He'll be going into specifics of fat burning, specifics of muscle building. He'll also be giving tutorials on weightlifting for some of the beginners out there for form, because really what we've learned through Pete, and Pete's my personal coach as well, is that form really is king. So,
yes, it is.
So keep following Pete. You can follow him on Instagram. His tag is Pete619Muscle. So learn more, follow his journey. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. Lift heavy and eat more protein. Thank you so much.
Cool. Awesome.
Awesome.